I know, you've seen teaching textbooks 100 times since you started homeschooling, but maybe perhaps you don't know everything there is to know about it. Today I'm going to go over 10 lesser known tools that teaching textbook has, and maybe I'll surprise you, so stick around. Friends, if you're brand new to my channel, my name is Arlene with Arlene and Company. And as I said before, today we're going to go over the 10 lesser known facts or tools of teaching textbook. Perhaps you think you know everything there is to know and you got the gist of it, but trust me, stick with me because there's a few things that I didn't know for quite some time after using it, and some that I kind of just found out about. Where have I been? I want to thank Teaching Textbook for teaming up with me and sponsoring today's video. That is a lot of T's and S. Like, this is gonna be like a struggle for my New York accent. Here we go. We're gonna do this. And you're also gonna watch my hair poof up because for some reason I decided to straighten it on a hot, humid Florida day. It's hot as crickets out there. Anyways, here we go. Numero uno. No, not two. One. Numero uno. Okay. First thing, I'm gonna start with a biggie because a lot of people don't realize that. If your kiddo is actually stuck in a problem, they have rewatched the lesson, watched the explanation, you have reinforced it, you're explaining it, you're turning blue and you can't get through it, you actually can pick up the phone and call the free tutoring helpline. Did I say that? Yes, free tutoring helpline. With your 12-month access to your grade level of choice, you have the ability to pick up the phone and say, hey, talk to my kid, and they will. And they will walk them through the problem that they are working with and have that free tutoring session. I have not had the need to do that yet. My hubby is like my backup plan. He's a math genius, and like if I can't explain it, I literally like FaceTime them. But that's not always possible. So it's nice to know that I have the ability to do that, especially for someone that math is just not their thing. I'm talking about me. One of the really cool things, especially if you have a kiddo that is using one of the older levels, such as geometry, it has built-in SATs and ACT preps. I don't know about you, but we are definitely on the college track. So these are some of the things that our kiddos sometimes don't get a lot of practice in unless we are very intentional. One of the really cool things is having that built-in SAT prep and ACT prep questions, because then they become a habit and it becomes recognizable when they do that. One of the things I really appreciated about my nursing program when I went to nursing school 1,000 years ago, long ago, was that all my teachers had built-in NCLEX type of questions in all our quizzes and tests throughout our courses. The NCLEX is the board's exam that the nurses take to become licensed and a registered nurse. Without that, graduation does not matter. Anyways, let's go back to having those built-in type of questions throughout my education. The minute I sat down to take my boards, it was like, I've seen this. I know what it is like. Even if it's obviously not the same wording and things like that, it becomes very familiar. So obviously with the geometry, it's not gonna be the exact same question, but to know that those type of problems are gonna be visible and you can reference that and it's gonna be like an instant recall when they're taking that test, that's really comforting, brings your anxiety level way down, speaking from experience. So I really, really appreciate the fact that they have that built in, and knowing as my kiddos progress through the levels that that's gonna be. Number 3, okay, you love the online platform. You love that you're able to take this anywhere. You can do all kinds of things, and I can tell you all about it in that other video that I did. I'll caption it down below, how you can take it anywhere. Are you on a boat? Take it with you. Are you on a bus? Take it with you. It can go anywhere. But one of the things is some kiddos just really need to see it, like print it and work through it, or maybe you just need some extra practice, or maybe you need to reference it for yourself for the lesson to be able to help your kiddos or prep, whatever it may be. But you can go ahead and print the ebook that is attached long ago, black and white. We had the teaching textbooks that you can get, like the textbook and all that jazz. And then you have the ebook on there. So you have the written explanations of the lessons on there. And you can go ahead and print those parts too. So if you need to reinforce a concept, or maybe you just need it because you do, you can print it. So that's number 3, lesser known. Number 4, let's say you are done with your journey. Your 12-month access to your kiddo's level is done, but you're working on transcripts, you're working on whatever it may be. Maybe your kiddo is going back to traditional school. Maybe they're, you're applying to college. You have an infinite time to access your parent portal. So you can look at any point in time your kiddos' past levels, their grade book, and see it in their parent portal long after your kiddo's student access is gone. You can access that, and that's very important. Maybe you're a procrastinator. There's no judging here. And you're preparing their transcripts, and you just need to get all that stuff in. You still have access. Number 5 goes in the same grade book. Okay, I'm gonna admit, I didn't know this one. I actually screen captured and did all this fancy little stuff because, Arlene, if you read the stuff, you would know that this was available. You can actually print the grade book. So if you're in a portfolio state such as we are, and you need to furnish some kind of proof for, your subjects, what you're teaching and things like that, it's a little bit harder when you think, well, how am I gonna prove what they're doing? Am I gonna snap pictures as they're working, on their iPads with their lessons? Yeah, I've done that too. But you can print the grade book and have it as part of your portfolio. Maybe you just like it as a keepsake because you want to show them when they're 37. These were your grades when you were in 4th grade. Whatever it may be, you can do that. Number 6, this is a biggie, especially if you have neurodiverse learners like I do. Sometimes sensory overload, whatever is going on, whatever external stressors is going on, sometimes they make a mistake, or maybe they're just, neurotypical and they're just clicking away. They got distracted and they press something on accident. You're thinking, oh, computer would never work because my kiddo would press something else, meant something else, and then the world has ended and they're just collapsing. Okay, you can go in your parent portal side and edit. You can edit the question. Woohoo! Yeah, you can edit the question. You can go ahead and say, okay, I knew my kiddo knew the answer to this and they just accidentally pressed the wrong thing, and edit it and make it correct. You can delete the question if you feel like you want to give your kiddo an additional chance because, you're now worked through it and you're just like, let's do this. Let's do this together. It's the point of homeschooling, we don't have to be like, you're done. Anyways, you can go ahead and delete the problem. Okay, let's say this has happened, that you notice your child completely bombed the whole lesson. What happened there? They didn't get it and they were just Christmas treeing it. Do you remember that? My 90s kids, you know that? 80s, 90s, you go. Yeah. This is the answer. Or they were just typing up. Maybe they were just completely off. They were not feeling well. And they were just not telling you. And you notice that they just did very poorly. You have the ability, if you don't want that grade to stay and you want to give your child another chance, after you guys work through it together, rewatch through the problems and narrow down exactly where the deficit is or what they're not understanding, you can delete the entire lesson and have them do it again when they're fresh. Don't do it right away because it's yeah, don't do that. You can, okay, whatever. You can do whatever you want, but you can delete the lesson. And I've done this, okay? It has not happened often, but like I said, I have neurodiverse learners and sometimes they just get in this funnel and they can't just stop and say, Mommy, I'm stuck. So I really stay involved, even though teaching textbooks is teaches for you, grades for you, does everything for you. I feel for us it's very important that I stay involved with each and every lesson. But that's print some extra worksheets and things like that that they have available just so I can see them work it when it's not on a platform. So I do like the flexibility of that. And a lot of people feel like they look at teaching textbook and it's just on the computer and that's it. even though they have a scratch pack to work every problem out, hey, if you feel like your child is kinesthetic and it has to have like something written out, give them a notebook, have them work it out on paper. It's totally fine, friends. I have detoured again. 7. Offline use. I did a whole entire video about this, but I cannot do a top 10 without mentioning offline use. Offline use. Okay, so if you live on a boat, you live in a place that is remote, you only get Wi-Fi like once a week or whatever. I've lived this life and I'm not in a remote place. My Wi-Fi was like dead. It was dead for like weeks. And they were having the biggest trouble getting it in a handle. Here it goes. It actually uploads every single time you log in. It actually uploads like the next 6 lessons, I believe. And you can have that available to your kiddo, that it's already downloaded to their device, to their account, and access it offline wherever you are. Very important, especially for traveling families, or you just on the go, or maybe you're like us and our internet just died. It was nice knowing you. Number 8, I kind of already gave you a glimpse of number 8. You have printable math facts as well. So if you need to print additional things from your ebook, you also can have printable math facts that they have available on the site. This is really, really important, especially for your kiddos that are doing math 3, math 4, maybe even beyond that. Maybe they still haven't like cemented that you feel that it is important because that's your approach. You can go ahead and print them in all kinds of sort of way. Maybe you just want them to be in their reference notebook of a math notebook like we have, and just have that available to them so they can reference it and have reduced that stress. Maybe you don't make them memorize it, but you want it as a reference chart. You can print that. We've arrived to number 9. I have a 9, I know. Because it is run on devices, not like 4.0 is fabulous. If you ever use 3.0, we loved it then too. And then 4.0 came along and we're like, hey, you're pretty. It works on the iPad. It works on your other device. It works on your laptop. It works on your desktop. Anywhere you go, it works. So the cool thing about that is that your same child can access their account from whatever device they're working on. So maybe one day they want to work on their iPad. Maybe another day they want to work on a laptop. Maybe you have multiple kids working and they just switch around because one of them needs to type something and they really need to use that device and whatever not. Your same child can access their account anywhere, even on your phone. So that's a cool little thing. People don't realize that always. They think they have to be on one specific type of device, and that's not so, because it's the math on the go. And this is the feature I always forget about. I know about it, I know it's there, I always forget about it, but I am speaking it into existence and letting you guys know about it, so maybe you will use it, even though I never do. It's the pause feature, friends. You can pause it for up to 3 months. So let's say we're year-round homeschoolers. So sometimes we take breaks that are not really planned. Maybe your kiddo got sick, and you want to go ahead and pause the lessons. Remember, you have a 12-month access. So maybe you are taking a trip and decide, I'm burnt out. We're taking off school for a month. Whatever it may be your situation, you can go ahead and pause it. Like minimum amount of time that you can pause it is for 7 days, and then max for 3 months. So you can go ahead and pause that bad boy, and it will just go ahead and pause your access. You don't have to worry about if it's like a year and 2 months, because you paused it and you still have access to that same level. So maybe things change the dynamics. You had a baby, whatever it may be. Pause it, my friends. So we go on trips, we travel, we do these things, not as much as before the great demise, but we go on and do different things. What do I forget to do? I forget to pause it. But I do have access to my parent portal from my phone, and you would think I would just go on there and pause it. I don't pause it, like, ever. Why? I don't know. But I'm putting here as number 10, so perhaps next time I will remember to pause it. Now I have a bonus one for you guys. Now I know this is not a lesser known one, but maybe it is for you. Here's my bonus one. If you've never tried teaching textbook, you have no idea this type of platform would work for your kiddo, you really don't even know what level to place them in. First of all, there is a placement test, so you have your kiddos start. Do know that it does start very gradually, and it reviews. It's a spiral approach program, so it reviews a lot in the first few lessons. So if you're thinking, oh, this is kind of really easy, note that it does build up from there. But go ahead and take a placement test, and then you can go ahead and try any level you like. You get 15 lessons for that level, and you don't have a time limit to do those 15 lessons. So it's not like you have 2 weeks to try us out and you are done. Now, it's not like that at all. So you actually have the 15 lessons, however long it takes you to do those 15 lessons and to really get a feel for it. Maybe you want to try it over a month. You can go ahead and do that. And that is your free trial. You don't have to give any credit card information or anything like that. Just try whichever levels you like. Give it a feel, see if it works, see if your kiddo is attracted to it, see if they like the buddies. There's so many things I did not cover on this video, which I felt like some of the other stuff are just more known, but these are my top 10 lesser known stuff. So if you have specific questions on anything else and you want to know more about it, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and just join more shenanigans. Thank you again for stopping by and for your presence, and thank you Teaching Textbook again for teaming up with me. I'll see you guys next time. Happy math days. No, really, like we need happy math days. That's just awesome.
You used to call me sweetheart. It was different.